Kirk?
Stop, there's somebody in the bathroom.
What?
There's somebody in the bathroom. I was happily using the bidet, and somebody came in and said they were the IRS.
What?
I think they're out to get me. I think the IRS is out to get me.
Okay, listen close to me, Kirk. If you want to survive. In 3 seconds, I want you to kick the door open and get out of the bathroom. Ready? Go! Okay, do you see a giant empty room at the end of the hall?
The one that says Doozy Podcast Studio?
I think that's where we are. Quick! Quick! Quick!
So, David, you want to talk about taxes?
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, everybody!
Hey, everyone, welcome to the Doozy Podcast.
Yes, you guys are probably thinking, what the hell does that mean?
Well, the word doozy means something that is extraordinary or outstanding of its kind.
And if you can't tell, we are not that.
Hey, but we want to be.
Oh, we sure do. And we also want to be able to catch our breath.
Yes, but the IRS won't let us do that, will they, Kirk?
won't. And so this is the podcast that we are going to give you all the tools you need to become successful in life. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I avoid this? How do I evade that?
Right. And the best part is we're going to teach you how to avoid and evade.
Yes.
While also learning how to avoid and evade ourselves.
Makes sense to me.
I'm Alex Morpheus Staub.
And I'm Kirk.
The one?
The one red pill guy.
Wow. Well, hey, Kirk, I think when you came in, you messed up the green screen a little
Yeah.
bit. It's okay if you want to fix that right now.
No, I will. It's, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was fearing for my life.
Yeah. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
I hope it doesn't fall.
We'll make it work. That's what I say every year when I do my taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this is a special episode.
Well, Kirk, what are we going to talk about?
We're not going to beat around the bush, guys.
No.
This is a special episode.
Very special.
This is How to Taxes Reloaded. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the sequel. We're not only we are elevating the world that we discovered in our How to Taxes episode, our first episode.
Yeah, our first episode. Well, first let's introduce our guest here.
Absolutely.
He knows how to do his taxes. Okay, and as long as I've known him, from birth. He's never helped me with mine until now.
Oh my goodness!
And we had to force him on here and lock him
at
in this
gunpoint,
room so he would do our taxes for us. And we had him on last year, and he taught us so much, and we remembered
nothing.
You retained everything.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like when you're just going through the day-to-day in your life and you wake up at moments and you're like, was that a dream?
Yeah.
And then it's like, maybe it was a dream. I don't remember it. It's almost like as if you're in the Matrix when you're doing your taxes. Does this thing actually exist?
Yeah.
Is it important?
Yeah. You don't know.
You don't know.
It's out there. You can't get a hold of it. It's not like you can just call up, the IRS or the Matrix and say, hey, are you real?
Yeah.
They won't answer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
the one thing we know...
But we're going to get the answers today.
Exactly.
Okay? Because with us right now, okay, completely here from his own free will.
In person. He decided to come out here...
Via hologram.
Via hologram.
David Staub.
Yes. Welcome.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Back. Welcome back. Hey, could you maybe remind us why you're qualified to teach us about taxes? Because I forgot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk. Or should I say red pill?
Yes.
I am a certified public accountant. I maintain that level of education. I have the ability to provide professional services. I don't. I two individuals. I do work in the accounting field as a profession. I still maintain my CPA, and I work with corporate taxes, but I am also relatively familiar with the individual tax realm, as you may remember.
Got it.
So,
could you say that in English?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I file taxes
Yes.
for myself. I help people with taxes.
And you help people with taxes?
I would say I'm probably on all of my friends' speed dial this time of year.
Of course.
I will hear from people that I haven't heard from in a while, and they're calling or texting. And I'm like, oh, they're checking in. No, they have a tax question.
Grandma, I thought you were dead.
I faked my death because I didn't want to do taxes.
Not in the Matrix, David. In the Matrix, I still have taxes.
Got it.
But that's okay.
Yeah. So, did you already do your taxes yet this year?
Well, no. I guess maybe a quick reminder: you have the ability to extend, right? For some people who have difficulty with taxes, you don't have to file by April 15th. You just have to extend your taxes. So I can file an extension, and file my taxes as late as October 15th. You get a 6-month extension.
Huh.
And how?
Now this is the one thing I remember from the last
further
episode.
extended from there, or is that the cutoff?
No, that's generally the cutoff. Whether there's hardship things that allow you to qualify for further extension, maybe there's something, but I'm not familiar.
Doing your taxes definitely, I would consider a hardship.
Yes.
Yeah, just in general.
Yes.
You know? But I, in addition to, look, Kirk and I, after we rewatched the episode,
yes,
so many times.
So many times.
And just and tried to take notes and just tried to learn,
And it's like, I woke up the other day and I called you and I was like,
do you want to watch The Accountant? And because that's
we thought that's how I learned.
How David does it.
Yeah.
So we've watched The Accountant maybe 16,000.
And I'm a little scared. I feel like I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
if I do it that way.
It is a violent movie.
Aren't taxes violent? They get you really angry, right?
They do. They do. Kirk, have you done your taxes yet?
This year, no. But I'm.
Kirk, have you ever done your taxes?
Ever?
I think there's a reason why I was running away from somebody, and we obviously are in some blocked room in the Matrix right now. Yeah, that doesn't let them.
Yeah, the IRS. David, the IRS. Okay, are they real people? Who are they? Are they? Is it like some alien life form? Is it?
Because
I don't know. I can't picture.
Humble shout out. Yeah. I was in a short film called The Taxman, and I played the taxman that calls. And
it was a spin-off from The Accountant.
But it was a sci-fi movie because it was an alien who brought this one girl who was confused about what she owed to this remote location.
Yeah.
And then abducted her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
that's why I've never done my taxes.
But it's like you call the IRS or you get tax help. A stereotypical thing is they're like, oh yeah, this is me, this is my ID number. What can I help you with? Okay, yeah, this is what you're gonna do. It's very they're by rote, and you're like, wait, I don't know if I'm getting the information, but that's that's why we did last year's episode. That's why we're doing this.
Yes.
Get all the entry points into how do we understand taxes? How do we just wipe away that fear,
right,
of doing them and that dread that comes every year.
Right. And how we understand it is kind of what's that thing where you remember or understand something through from learning it through from referencing it through something else. Do you know what I mean?
Vicariously?
Vicariously?
Yeah, like you it's a thing where you learn one thing from memorizing it through like something else to help you memorize it or like learn about it. You know what I'm saying?
Like a brain gym?
Like a brain gym or something. Yeah, I don't know.
A mnemonic device, a thing to like remind you. What?
It's like a thing where
Is it?
it's in the accountant end credits.
Yeah.
He explains it all. Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched through the credits.
Yeah.
Well, your taxes. Have you done them?
Yeah, for sure.
You already did them?
No. Not
Are you lying?
I was actually gonna do them Friday. You know, I go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which Friday?
This upcoming Friday after.
After the next.
The next one.
Next month.
After October. Yeah. I'm filing the extension.
Well, what do you say we jump into these tips, because these are last year we learned how to taxes, or did we? And
Yes.
this, so David, he has brought us a different entry point into how to understand taxes.
Yes.
Right? So the whole realm of these tips, he's given us 9 tips, and it's all about the life cycle of a taxpayer.
Yes.
We are men. We're human beings. We're a comedian and actor, but deep down at heart, when you come into this world, you're a taxpayer.
You are.
And that's what we're
all
here.
you are.
That's all you
That's
will
all
be.
you're gonna be.
And when you
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So with that, I say we just jump in.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Or file down.
You know, how about let's jack in.
Yeah, plug in.
Plug in.
Our data. Our digits,
let's
or
submit.
however you do it.
Yeah, okay.
So these are the top 9 tips on how to taxes reloaded. Okay.
Life cycle of
Reloaded
taxpayer.
is like the second.
Right. We're going to
matrix.
go through the
Yeah.
life cycle of a taxpayer.
The life cycle of a taxpayer.
Right.
So you can understand the
They're
scope
born-
of the importance.
Yeah. Okay. Here we
Okay.
go. Yeah. Step 1 is you're born.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Now what?
I ask myself.
Right. You get a social security number, okay? You come out, you're like, hello world, stamp,
You're branded.
you owe money.
You get a
You're
barcode on
yeah,
your
exactly. Yeah, barcode.
barcode on the back of your
Price tag. Ching. Huh? Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
You owe us money. Yeah. How you gonna eat? How you gonna?
Yeah, you're born, and immediately
Yeah.
the doctors are like, so how are you gonna pay for this?
Right. Yeah. To have a baby in the hospital right there, that's like 50 grand, isn't it? Without insurance.
That's a lot of taxes.
If you had no health insurance and you had a baby right in the hospital, it's like at least 30 G's right there.
It's expensive. I've had 2 kids.
Right.
I can attest to that.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And when that bill came back, you were like, thank God, I have health insurance.
Right. And I couldn't file for health insurance if I didn't have a social security number.
Oh, you got me already, you dang. Okay, so now I'm just a number to you, huh? I'm a human. I'm just a number. Price tag. Wow.
Well, have you ever looked up the definition of the social security number, what it's for? It's kind of, granted, we use it a lot, right? It's there to identify us to the government, where we wouldn't be able to register for several things if we didn't have it. But the actual definition is, the purpose of it is to track your lifetime earnings and the amount of time you have worked as an individual.
That is insane. Oh my god. In the US, a number in the format of 000000000, unique for each individual, used to track Social Security benefits and for other identification purposes. So, basically, do you got a job?
Wow.
You got a job yet?
Wow.
Wow, I didn't.
How, when, who had the first Social Security number?
No, for real.
000000001. My wife is number 3. After my mistress.
I just looked up the person who had the first Social Security number, John D. Sweeney Jr.
John D. Sweden Jr.
At the age of 23 of New Rochelle, New York, the next day, newspapers around the country announced that Sweeney had been issued the first Social Security number and would be tracked for the rest of his life where he worked.
He had one of those cow tags on his That's how you carried around your Social Security number.
I am already learning so much. Wait, there's more to the tip, right?
Who was the second person?
Oh, my God.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
There's more to the tip, though, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, to my tip. Wow. John D. Sweeney Jr. His dad was like, fuck that. Right? Yeah.
See, but I always...
Dad, I want
a Social Security
a
number.
Social Security number.
Well, son, you know you're going to be tracked by the government for the rest of your life.
You mean like one of my cows? Yeah, Dad. I want one of those clips.
Good thing I
I want
like
a job.
that.
I want to be somebody, Daddy.
The number concept always got me because I don't know why, but for whatever reason, just in today's age, with all the baby names that come out, I can picture the mom and dad struggling to decide on the name, but meanwhile the government's already pre-decided what number you are.
Yeah. Oh,
like-
wow.
This
You
is
think they've ever
absolutely the
You
Matrix.
think they've ever messed up a number or like people have the same numbers before or something like that?
That I don't know.
So if
I'm sure you
There's
can
so
screw that
many
up.
babies being
people
born.
have stolen, right? It's ID theft.
let me
is-
ask you, David. Conjoined twins. Okay.
Do they have
A baby comes out, because there are those conjoined twins where like their heads are like this, like morphed together like this, right? Do they have the same number?
Ooh.
Or does it like cut out, right? Do you know what I mean?
They are two people, so two Social Security numbers.
It's
Of
never
course.
Yeah.
Okay, Google.
okay,
No, that's a
okay.
valid question. Two tickets because they have two bodies. Even if they can sit in one seat with the size of airline seats these days, it would be uncomfortable to try and sit in one seat as conjoined twins. Okay, this is just talking
That
about
provided that much information.
Yeah. It was like, well, of course.
there's your answer.
Of course they have a Social Security number because they can occupy two seats on a flight to
Yep.
Miami.
See, they're always one step ahead of us.
Yep.
Of course, conjoined twins. Shut up.
Shut the...
The IRS has thought of everything.
There were, you know what? There are people like us sitting in like one of the boardrooms. They're like, what about conjoined twins? And they're like, yes. Well, duh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, John D. Sweeney.
So wait, they...
Okay, look. So you're born.
Yes.
You get price tagged. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you may not owe anything, but just in case you do, they have a number attached to your soul.
To your soul. Now, this
soul.
is the word usage by our
soul.
special guest,
Yeah,
David
That's right.
himself.
That's right.
Well, if a soul is a person, right, then a soul is a Social Security number.
Is
that deep?
My God.
Is that too deep?
No, this number, the number that they scan onto you goes into your soul, down through the scan.
And you know the craziest thing is when you... I mean, I don't know whether it's like a special moment or a really depressing moment when you're like, what's my Social Security number? It's blah, 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 blah. You're attached to that number. Is that like you looking at your soul face to face? I mean, when you get to the point where you're like, yes, I know my Social Security number. Here it is. Because you have to give it to like so many things. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just, it's
Yeah.
like,
No, it's okay. It's like you run into the people who are, they don't want to buy the toll IDs because I'm off the grid. It's like, no, you're not off the grid. Do you have a Social Security number? You're on the grid.
dude, you're not off the grid. You have a QR code on the back of your neck, bro.
Yeah. I'm off the grid. Did you hear? Yeah. Call me later. Yeah, okay.
God. Okay. Got it. Okay, well let's keep moving on.
Yeah.
So
you got your number. You got your price tag. You got your little scanned little QR code.
your freaking barcode.
Wow. You come out before your first breath. They
You're a
tattoo
barcode.
You.
They
Wow.
tattoo you with
They
a barcode.
Tartar you. Yeah.
With a barcode.
Well, I have a lot of trouble in like those self-checkout lines because You know, my social security number barcode keeps going up. All right, let's move on.
So you're born, and then what happens a few years later? So maybe a few years down the line, you start working for an ice cream shop in the summer during high school. Oh, what a nice job. That's fun.
Wow, that's
oh
fun.
my gosh, I'm going to make my own money. This is great.
Yeah.
Maybe I even bust some tables during college.
Oh,
Ooh, that's money.
Go out there and make
Bussing
something of
tables or
yourself.
waitering.
Yeah.
And file on my parents' tax returns. Get out of here. Get out. Parents, you do it.
Not
You
too
do it.
shabby. Yeah.
What do you need to know? That's how it ends. What do I need to know?
Well, I think we start with kind of what the threshold is for owing taxes, right?
Yeah.
So
God, it started off so happy. You just got married. Now what?
No,
Right?
but it is true. So I think I'll be perfectly candid. I had university jobs and stuff at college, but I didn't have like a real job until like senior year of college.
Sure.
Like going out and I was 21, 22 years old. It was my first time like doing that. And I think even at that age, I didn't realize what I was about to get myself into.
Sure.
And that, the taxes that are taken out and the different little things and stuff. So that's kind of what you're saying. It's like you got to...
Yeah, I think there's basically two things to consider. One is, I'm going to say the word threshold again. It's just a fancy word, but we've heard maybe standard deduction, exemption, right? These are the levels at which when you file a tax return, it basically says, well, however much money you make, we're going to reduce it by this because this is the threshold for which you start paying taxes. So a lot of children, I mean, I don't know, you're working the summer, you're probably not going to make that much money. You're making minimum wage, right? Maybe you're only working weekends.
Yeah.
So it's rare that a child would have earned income above the threshold for which they would have an obligation to file taxes. So
What's the threshold?
There's different thresholds,
I
right?
believe it's
Yeah.
currently $12,500.
So if you make any more than that in a year, you got to do those.
You either
files
got
have
you
to-
either have to file what is like a child tax return, or there's this concept called kiddie tax, and that's the defined term where
It's fun, kids.
yeah.
Taxes for kids.
You see that to make it inviting, right?
Is that it's like a Build-A-Bear workshop for kids to file their taxes?
It's like a Build-A-Bear.
This is it. Universal Studios Tax World for the kids.
Yeah.
Or
Right next to the
Can I
arcade.
file my taxes?
can I go to the
Please?
Can I go to the Build-A-Soul workshop?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh man.
You go there, and the workers are like, all right, let's scan your barcode. Oh, it says here you're going to work as a garbage man till you're 40. I'm sorry, you can only get this type of bear.
Your parents are in a lot of debt. You can't buy this stuffed animal today.
Wow, yeah. See, this is something that I never knew. And that, I'd like to have kids someday.
Now,
And I'm going to make sure that they don't have to do that.
Or go the opposite. Imagine having like a child star for, as one of your children, right? The amount of tax they would have to pay, right? Think of like the Olsen twins. How did that work?
Or even like Justin Bieber, this mega star.
At that age, having to file taxes. He had a tax accountant before we even had to file taxes. I don't know.
Yeah. They were like, time to file your taxes, Justin. He's like, what do you mean? I'm just a kid. That's why Michael Jackson had so much money and identified as a child, right?
Justin, you have to pay taxes, but I'm a baby. No! Now, Justin, you do. You make $500 million a year. Okay, got it. So
don't work in an ice cream shop.
At the age of 12.
Right.
Or wait, no, I don't know. Wow, this is a lot.
Okay.
We're talking. No, this is a reminder. I'm reminding myself. We're talking about the life cycle. We're just at age 15, guys. We're just at age 15.
You got your whole life ahead of you.
You got your whole life ahead of you. But at least you get to start doing kitty taxes.
Oh, kitty taxes. Those
They started small.
Yeah.
12,500. Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, I mean,
your whole life ahead of you.
Your whole life ahead of you
We're at
paying
the age
taxes.
of 21 right
We're
now.
going to tax world, kids.
We're graduating
to
college.
Disneyland. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay. So
We're
about to.
Okay, so you were born, right?
Yes.
You got your social security number.
You got
right?
the barcode on the back of your neck.
What assholes? Who was it? Was it John D. Sweeney? He was okay.
He ruined it all for me. He ruined it for everyone.
He ruined it all.
He ruined it for all of us.
He was like, okay, I'm number one.
It's like, oh, what's this new thing
Yes.
here? The government's trying out.
Yes, I want one. No, my son's in line. Boop, beep. Right? They had a stamp. Oh my God. All right, so you're born, you get your social security number. So now you're tagged and bagged, okay? And now you grow up a little bit. You're like, I want to work at the ice cream shop.
I want to make some money.
I want to make some money.
I want to do some
taxes
for kids.
Taxes for kids, okay? You can pay some kitty tax, right? And get some chicken fingers too, right? But you got to pay taxes on those chicken fingers, all right? And then once you survive that, all right? Number 7, you graduate college and you get your first major job on your own dime. What's next?
It can only go up, right? Yeah, it can only go up, right? And by up, we mean money.
That's right.
That you owe.
What's next, David?
Well, I think step 1 is you're going to show up at your employer and they're going to hand you a bunch of forms, right? And they're going to say,
I always block that
first
part
one
out.
is what's your social security number, right?
Yes.
We're right back to that number.
Yeah.
I think the real moment you grow up, it's not when, you lose your virginity or you fall in love or you graduate college. I think it's the moment you fall in love.
That too.
The moment that you have to be like, Mom, what's my social security number? That's the moment you grow up.
You know how
and you
long
are
I did that
never
for?
the same. You're never the same.
I still don't know myself.
I still...
Mom?
You have to text your mom.
Mom?
Mom, I'm starting a new job.
Mom?
This social security number is so important. I have it in my head, but also sometimes you need to make a copy of the card and send it. And let me tell you.
Laminate it.
Yeah.
I have my social security card in the same envelope, in a special envelope full of important documents for any time I have a job or whatever. It's really, when you look back and look at it, you're like, what? That's insane.
Yeah. I got mine tattooed on my thigh.
You had it.
Yeah. So whenever they're like, what's your social security number? I go, zip.
Hold on for 1 second.
Hold on a second.
I gotta fill out this
let
form.
Me check. This number's fading.
Oh, but that's only the first step, right? So now,
Yes.
now we're at,
Okay,
now
so you get a job.
You got a job, right?
Right.
Your
At
employer hands you
Build-A-Bear.
a bunch of. It's going to be human resources, right? They're going to hand you a bunch of papers. They're going to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, please fill this out so that we understand who you are, what your elections are, and how we're supposed to treat you."
Well, I like soccer and
No.
No.
You can't afford a soccer ball.
Well, this is even more fun. What is your exemption status? How many claims do you want to make?
Huh?
But I'm related to John D. Sweeney Jr. Even better.
Sweeney Jr. Perfect. You can't file extension now.
Right, but so you're filing, you're filling out all these forms for probably insurance, right? All the things, but the main form is that I-9 form, right? And this basically tells your employer how you want to be treated through your compensation process. And I would say, what this comes back to is, you remember how, I don't know if you remember, but
Let's just go back for a second. You were like, the I-9 form, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
letters and numbers together. Yeah.
You know how when you file your taxes, maybe you get money back or you owe money?
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, if you are working for a company, they have the obligation to pay the IRS on your behalf while you're being paid, right? Because the IRS is saying, well, I'm not going to wait until the end of the year until you file your taxes to decide whether or not you owe me money. It's your employer's obligation to withhold money from each pay stub, right? So now that form that we just mentioned, that form basically directs your employer to how much they should withhold, right? How many claims you want to have against your income, dependents, other exemptions. Are you married, right? There's other factors that come in. But I think what this is getting at is, this comes back to, you don't want to be giving the IRS a free loan, right? So, if you file a tax return and you get a big return, that means you claimed too much. Your employer was withholding too much money from you. And so, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm getting that money back at the end. I'm getting, however much money. But wouldn't you have preferred to get that money in your paycheck all throughout the year? But instead, what you've done is you've given the IRS a tax-free loan because they're saying, well, I've had your money all year or throughout the year. And, well, yeah, I owe it back to you. So here's what you overpaid. Yeah. They're not giving you what you overpaid plus interest. Now, if it was the other way around.
They're swindling us.
Yeah, here's $2,000.
The other way around, if you shorted them and you owed money, they say, well, you didn't pay us enough throughout the year. Now you owe us this and the interest on those short payments. So it doesn't work both ways.
Yeah, and then I'm getting a cup of coffee and I get stabbed in the back a couple times, and I'm like bleeding out in Starbucks, and like, that guy owed money to the IRS. Yeah, that's so messed up. So what do you claim then?
I think
I usually claim one.
One is okay. One's pretty good.
That means I get a little bit of. Should I claim two?
No. I would say right now you're in the world of one, right? You're claiming yourself as your exemption, right? But if you were, let's say you knew you weren't going to make that much money during the year, claim zero, because your standard deduction might cover how much you owe, and then you don't owe any money. So let's say you worked for somebody, and just by chance you knew you were only going to make $12,000 that year. You should claim zero because they won't withhold any money from you. Otherwise, they're withholding money from you. You're going to file a return, and the IRS is then giving you that money back. So they've had your money all along.
And they went golfing with it, and they bathed in it, and they're like, oh, oops, here you go. Here's your dirty. And they gave it to me like a bunch of crippled up stripper ones. They just threw it at me like that. Sitting in it, and I'm there in H&R Block, and they're like, here's your money back. Had that happen once.
Sorry for your loss.
They were like, I was like, I'm a kitty. And they're like,
no, you're not.
And they're like, no, that means child, not like an actual kitten. I dressed up as a cat. Like a kitty.
As soon as you can claim yourself, that means nobody else can claim you on the return. Right?
What do furries have to pay?
Kitty is a cat, right?
kitty tax.
Why is it kitty tax.
What does OJ owe?
Yeah. OJ owes me a lot of money.
Yeah, that's right. All the back pay for all the... Ugh.
But
where are we on
he
this?
Peed on my mics.
Yeah,
he owes me money for this.
He should buy our new mics, yeah.
But this is the distinction. How you claim one, right? Your parents used to claim that one on their form, right? When you were a dependent. So that is almost a true separation of from letting the little ones go roam to the wild. Once you can claim yourself, you can't go back.
Oh, Mom!
Next year I can't claim zero.
No, you can always go back to your employer and change your withholding.
Okay.
You can always update your filing. Right, because maybe you have a bunch of kids. Well, now they don't need to withhold as much because I have all these deductions and dependents that, so I will pay less taxes. So it's all right, right? So that's the beginning, right? Yeah. Now we go to the end. It's your first year. You get your W-2. Now you have to file your own taxes, right?
Right.
So I would say that as a an early filer, right? This is where back in the day, it was like you brought somebody into your house. They wore a visor, brought a giant typewriter, right? Well, now you just go on your computer, right? We got TurboTax.
That's right.
H&R Block, the Tax Slayer.
You have plenty of Tax Slayer,
right? Yeah.
That guy sounds badass.
That's like heavy metal.
He plays heavy metal while he does his taxes.
Yeah.
That's right. You
look,
say
there was a whole other part to this. It was I said, what's
think we
next?
covered
and
it.
there was more. Yeah, the withholdings.
But I think he got.
Yeah. See, I completely didn't.
No. But you were. No. But you even covered just part of it, which was like, you say here, taxes are very different than they used to because there's these automated type of things that help you these services, like you were saying.
So I used H&R Block is what I've done.
Okay. So do you have
years.
a person that you go to?
I did. She was great out in Brooklyn. And
what happened to her?
She owed so much money.
She owed so much. She was too busy doing everybody else's taxes.
Yeah. One day she was just gone, and I was just like, "Well, where'd she go?" She's like, "They were like, she left you something before she died." And I was like, "What is this?" It's like a little lockbox, and I opened it up, and there was like a little like note card on it with a name, and it said, "John B. John D. Sweet. Sweet.
What did it say inside?
That's all it said.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a memento.
Yeah.
And
and then on the
every
other
day
side
since.
it said I-9, am I right? No, but so this is before the year of the pandemic, right as the pandemic happened. I go and I file with her, and I'm like, okay, great, I'm good, just like the rest. She calls me back, and she goes, ooh, yeah, someone stole your identity.
That's right, dude, I remember.
I remember this.
And I was like, what? She goes, oh, yeah, someone, filed under your name with your Social Security number.
Oh.
And they got a whole bunch of stuff wrong. And they flagged him, and they took him out, and they took him down, and they rejected everything. So we just got to resubmit all this stuff and then go through this whole process.
And then it was like a year
like,
later, you got like thousands.
Flagged. I'm like flagged. I'm special to the IRS now.
Yeah.
I'm flagged. They're like, ooh, this guy,
Again?
Yeah, and it was some guy in Canada, I think. I don't know where he was. They told me the location, like general area, but they wouldn't tell me his name or where he lived or what he looked like. Because I would have went after him.
You know who I think it was? One time?
John.
We need to do it here. One time I sent you an email.
Yeah.
To your like personal email.
Yeah.
Like a Doozy email. But it was to a German guy named Alexander Staub.
Oh.
And he was like, sorry, this is not me.
Oh,
this is different. Do you remember that?
So I'm Alexander R. Staub. It's two.
Yeah,
R's.
Alexander R. Staub.
And
And he
Alexander
was just a random. Yeah.
Wow, he stole that email.
And he was like, fuck
That's
this
who that guy was. Yeah. And everyone, all my employers were probably like, here's all your tax information. And they probably sent it to the wrong email.
Probably.
And he was like, perfect. Wow.
Anyways,
find you.
let's keep moving.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We are now in the top 6
So you
tip.
graduate college, the life is your oyster. Slam. A whole thing of files.
Yep.
Yep.
And then, a few years out of college, you're like, oh my God, you're getting promoted at your big finance job, and you receive new types of compensation. Maybe you play around in the stock market because your friend told you to buy GameStop.
You're naughty.
Yeah, some stonks, gains and losses. How do they work? And what about crypto, NFTs, baseball cards, collectibles? Let me tell you, we've done episodes for about half of those, and we still don't know.
We know cryptos and NFTs.
Yeah. We know.
The puffer fish choking on a carrot. Remember I showed you that?
We learned about NFTs.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. What is this?
What did I read?
What did I read? No, really.
Well, you're progressing along in your career.
Yeah,
So
right.
You're
now
making more money.
More money.
Now you're a big kitty.
You got
big
more
boy.
decisions, right? Now it's when do I want to retire? What do I do? 401ks, right? Even though that's saving, right? There's tax implications to that, right? You're basically, the IRS is allowing you to take certain portions of your compensation and put it away pre-tax, right? So take a scenario. I'm making $10,000, right? The IRS is going to take some money from there, but if you take that $10,000, you put in a 401k, they just let you put the whole 10 grand in there, and it appreciates tax free, right? So that's why they.
But you can't touch it, right?
You can't touch it.
See,
If you take
The
it out,
moment
that's
that
what I
you put
hate.
something in a 401k. Now,
That's what I hate.
well,
you don't get it till you're like 70, right?
Well, there's ways you can get access to it, but it's pretty specific. Like you can borrow against your 401k. You can
Send a dick pic.
You can buy a house with like.
God.
It's just, you can send a dick pic to your 401k. Let me put this away.
How bad you want your money, big boy?
Now, one of the things with 401ks is my understanding of it was like 401ks. It's like sometimes that's a perk of certain jobs that you have.
Sure.
And I know for me, I have a long history of having jobs that was not implemented in. So, like, what would you have to say for people who are like, God, 401k, like, I need to
save.
to start saving that. I need that in my life, for the future. I want to invest in the future and all that. Do you just
So have you heard of an IRA before?
Yes. So that's a
if
type of retirement
if,
thing, right?
If your employer doesn't offer a 401k, or I guess let's just say you don't have access to a 401k plan, you can contribute funds to an IRA. I think the limit is like $6,000, right? So you can just willingly put $6,000 of your own money in any given year, and that $6,000 will be removed from your taxable income for the year. So it's a deduction.
Now, an IRA, that is something at any moment an adult, tax-paying adult with a barcode and everything and a job can open if they at any time.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now the way to I'm getting really serious. I'm actually
I'm
really invested in this.
$6K a year into that. It's
So what's the
just
standard?
non-taxable
What's
for-
the standard,
for just-
David?
Yes.
You like the buy-in. It's like 6,000.
Well, that's not. That's the max that you can put in on an annual basis.
On an
right?
annual. Oh.
401k is higher. I think it's like 16 grand, right? But an IRA, any person can for each year they can put up to I think it's like 6,500 now. It goes up incrementally, but you can put that much in.
Anything more is you get taxed on.
Well, you can't. You just physically can't put more into your IRA. The
Got it.
fiduciaries know that, like they put a limit on it.
You can't take it out either.
Yeah, I think it's
No,
Until you're on your deathbed.
So a
55.
401.
I think it's 55.
So David, a 401k is something that is usually built in through a payment and like type of through your job.
Yep.
That you are agreeing a certain amount of your paycheck can go into this account.
Yep.
While for somebody who doesn't have that for a job, they open an IRA. It's basically on them to put that money in,
Yes.
and it follows the same rules that once it's in, it stays. Is that how it works?
Yes.
God, I need an IRA. I've known this.
Hey, it's never too late to start.
Thank you. This is the first year that I'm so much more on the I'm just much more aware of like the money decisions in my life right now, and this is very, very interesting to me, and it's kind of like maybe no. I was just gonna say it's like you turn 30 and it's like, hey, be an adult already, you piece of fat kid. Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, it's just this is one of those examples where the world of like financial advice and tax advice meet, right? Because there's a financial reason why you would save, but there's a tax benefit to it as well.
Got it.
Right? Because whatever is in the IRA or whatever is in the 401k, every year, like let's say you put in $6,000 and after several months it's worth $8,000. You're not taxed on that. The incremental $2,000 that just stays in the account. You don't get taxed until you start taking the money out.
Will it grow? Will it grow? Grow?
Yeah. Well, because generally speaking, you're putting the money that you put in an IRA, you're putting it into bonds, stocks. Maybe you want to put it into a mutual fund, so it participates in, the hopeful appreciation of whatever the market's doing. Obviously, you can lose money too if there's a recession, but
okay.
Generally speaking, over the long term, you would assume that you would have more money in there than you put in over a long period of time.
Well, okay, so
You know what? He's doing this again, Kirk.
You're getting sucked
the
in.
episode started off
beating
so
us
fun,
down with knowledge.
and then Kirk's starting to shut down. Look at him.
I'm not even shutting down. I'm like,
You're
wait,
not a kitty anymore. Grow up.
I'm asking adult questions. I'm like, what? No, this is supposed to be a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about
Kirk has gum and some paper clips in his pocket right now.
Kitty put that in the Roth
If I
IRA.
put $6 million in this account.
Well, all right. Now let's bring it to maybe a more fun part of this. Is right. You've progressed in your career. You've got some money to play with, and your buddy says, "Hey, you should buy some of this stock." Right. What does that do? Right. So now you've taken some of your savings. Right. You've opened not an IRA account, but we'll call it a play account, Robinhood. Right. Maybe you're going to buy some Bitcoin. Right. So now these are all assets that you're acquiring, and they're treated a little bit differently. Right. So it's basically wherever you start from versus wherever you end is where you're going to get taxed at. But the taxable event isn't until you actually realize that event. So what I mean by that is if you buy something, there's no taxable event there. You just acquired something. But when you sell it, whatever the impact of that sale is, that triggers the tax event. So if you buy Bitcoin today and you hold it all the way till the end of the year, there's no tax event for you in 2022. Right, but if you turn around and sell it within the same year, or if you sell it in 2023, that's a tax event in 2023.
But that's only if you convert it to American currency, right?
Well,
What if you convert to Judaism?
Because
Does it grow?
Shabbat Shalom. My Bitcoin is having a christening.
My Ethereum is having a piss. Okay.
Yeah,
this
my Dogecoin's having a bar mitzvah this weekend.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah. Okay, let's keep moving.
Right, because you could buy Bitcoin with you can buy other coins with Bitcoin, and you don't get, it's still within the decentralized network, then it's fine, right? It's when you bring it back to sell it for American dollars, that's when you get taxed.
I think so,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you need to play around and buy all those Scooby-Doo coins and.
Yeah, can't wait to check in on that. Down the line.
7 billion Scooby-Doo coins.
10 years,
I
no,
do.
10 years from now, they're going to do a revival of the Scooby-Doo movie from 2002, and it's just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I will say
Anyway.
though, I bought, I put in $20 of Shiba coin, right? Got 5 million.
Billion, yeah.
5 million Shiba coins. And I made Dad buy some Shiba too. He put in $100 or something like that. He got 19 million Shiba coin. And Shiba blew up, right? And then he looked in the account there, and his $100 turned into $1,200 and something like that. And it's just kind of been sitting around there.
Yep.
So I have $100 now. So it's do I file taxes on that, or what do I?
Not until you turn around and sell it.
Oh.
Right, until you
Okay.
realize that right now, because you're still holding on to the same asset. Yeah, it's worth more, but until you actually turn around and sell it, it's not a taxable event.
And so what's the say it's $10 and I convert it and then just spend that $10 on a sandwich. Are they gonna knock my door down? Are they gonna fine me? Are they gonna look at it? They'll only flag you at a certain amount, right?
Well, it depends, right? These electronic providers who are tracking it, right? When you opened up an account at wherever you opened at, if it was one of the coin databases, you had to put in your social security number, right? We're right back to that.
Oh, they know.
They ask you for everything, dude.
Well, so I don't have an IRA or
Right, but that account that you're holding, that is in some way like a bank account or a brokerage account.
You got one of those? Can I have one of those?
Yeah, here. Can we move on to the next tip?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
More tips. The next phase of the life cycle.
All right. So now you got your big fancy job, okay? You know,
You're invested in stocks.
You're invested in stocks. Your Bitcoin had a brisk, all right? And now, tip number 5, you get married and start a family and buy a house, okay? What you need to know, okay? Okay, what do you need to know?
Okay.
What's the secret with real estate? Why does everyone talk about it being a great investment for tax purposes? An investment for your future. You know, I actually want, we're trying to get Rebecca on to talk about real estate, but because I'm actually, I'm about to turn 30. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to look into buying some property. Yeah, I want to,
Sure.
I want a house and whatever. And the more, every time I tried to just delve in like just big stuff like that, I try to, could I do this? And they're like, they thought of everything you can't swindle around it. You can't swindle around anything. And they got you. You can't win. They got you. They got you on every aspect. So I'm like, okay, like a mortgage, right? For it's like what, a 30-year mortgage or something like that. And then if you like pay it off quicker, it's like you get penalized or something, or you don't want to, but like you also want to like spend 30 years of the. I'm like, you know what if I come into some money and I want to pay it off and just be done with it, and they're like, no, you are with us for 70 years, and if you pay it off sooner than that, then
this makes me think about the one thing that frustrates me, because I'm 30, and it wasn't until about 10 or so years ago that I started making real money and stuff,
dressing yourself,
and and wiping my asthma on my own and all that stuff. But it's like credit score.
Ooh.
That is something that really frustrates me, because I think it's like...
Does that matter?
Yeah.
It matters quite a lot, right?
Banks.
And there are ways to, it can dip. It can dip quite a lot. But then there's also ways to, like, up it and stuff and get it... It's something... It's like... Is credit card... Is credit score something that is highly connected to taxes and something, or is it just I don't know?
Well, you know how they track your credit score, right?
My
Your
barcode,
my barcode,
my barcode, right?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. It can be affected, right? If you fail to pay your taxes, that can have a negative impact on your credit score.
Well, it's from your purchases and your
credit
payments
cards,
and different
credit
things like
card
that,
debt.
right?
It's liability, right? Are you paying back your debts, right? But taxes are a debt, right? So if you have an issue with your tax returns, the IRS will ding you on your credit score, and then it makes it more difficult for you to take out a home.
But if you're being a consistent payer of your debts, because the large majority of the whole universe has debts, then your credit score is good, or it continues to get better, right?
Yep, of
Okay,
course.
good. Just check it for a friend.
Right.
Staub, how you doing over there?
I feel like the IRS has been dinging me for a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, also
Yeah.
you're flagged.
All right, so I'm flagged.
Yeah,
too.
you're flagged.
Yeah. Okay, so you get married, you buy a house. But so should you buy a house? What's the so is it better to what's the move? Because is it better to buy land and then build your own house and not owe the bank money, but still have to pay?
Well, you're gonna have to pay somebody to build the house, right?
Right.
And maybe you don't have all the money to pay a contractor all at once. So you're gonna take out a construction mortgage. That's still a loan, right?
Okay.
I mean, unless you're paying pure cash for your house, whether you're building it or buying it.
But I would rather
challenge
accepted. See, I would rather do that and then just be like, "This is my land now."
There's plenty of people who do that, right?
Well, you know how we
Or
talked.
you buy land and then build like a little tiny house or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you start small, right? And then you build equity, right? And then maybe move into something bigger, because the assumption is that that house that you buy is going to appreciate, right? There's only so much land in the world, right? So
or you build off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Expand, right? Make it. You can take out like a home line and improve your house. Maybe expand your house, right? And that's another way that you can grow the size of your establishment. But I think the main point here from a tax standpoint is, how we talked about if you buy like stock or something and it grows and you turn around and sell it, you're going to pay tax on whatever that gain is. Well, on your first home residence, you don't pay taxes on those gains. So if you buy a house for $500,000 and then you turn around 2 years later and sell it for $750,000, you don't get taxed on that first that gain, because that's one of the benefits of you being your first home. Now, it's not just an endless road. I don't know what the limitation is, but I know that at least in the past you didn't get taxed on the first $250,000 worth of gain that you make. So that's one way.
But if you owe, so if you take out a loan to buy a house, right? And
Yep.
$500,000, and you owe that money, and then like 2 years later you sell it for like something happens and you sell it for like $800,000. You still got to pay back.
Oh, you still got to pay.
But then
$500,000, but you got $300,000 that you didn't have before.
And you don't get taxed on that.
You don't get taxed on it. Oh. And there's like first-time home buyer credits. The IRS rewards people who purchase their first homes.
Ooh, like full through, or like or.
I don't want to get confused our audience on the specifics, but I know that there's portions you don't pay tax on. So I know I believe it's at least the first $250,000 worth of gain you do not pay tax on. So again, you buy a house for $500,000. Let's say you finance the entire thing. Right. A year later, it's worth $750,000. You sell it for $750,000. You don't get taxed on that $250,000. It might be higher than that because that amount that I'm saying might be old.
Okay.
All of this talk is making me hungry.
Yeah, let's take a quick commercial break and
a sponsor's break.
Yeah, and we'll be right back to talk about whatever David's talking about.
Yes.
Hey, Kirk.
Hey, Staub.
You know what sucks?
What?
This episode, learning about taxes.
Stop. You know what doesn't suck?
What?
Botticelli Foods.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm tired of having a barcode.
Yeah.
That tracks every single decision I make with my finances and my work.
Yeah.
That barcode may have even gotten me to this moment. I'm so tired of it. I'm also tired of buying expensive, low-quality foods. I deserve
Those go hand
nice
in hand.
things.
Yeah.
I deserve quality things.
Yeah. Botticelli's, okay? They're family-owned, okay? And that's 4 generations in the food industry, all right?
Of paying taxes.
That's a lot of barcodes. That's a lot of taxes.
That's a lot of family barcodes.
Imagine the land, okay?
Can you imagine the mortgages?
The mortgages.
Can you imagine?
Oh, God. They bring an experience to your table, all right, with a taste that transports you to the heart of Italy, okay?
Better than, I'd rather be there than the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, if you go to BotticelliFoods.com right now and use promo code Doozy, that is DOOZY at checkout, you can get 10% off all Botticelli food products.
Yeah, and if you put in your social security number, you get 50% off.
I'll have to try that next time.
Free. Tax free. Yeah, and I'll tell you what you're going to get taxes off on.
Please.
Okay? Pasta, all right? I mean, that's like 50% tax off right there. Sauce, different sauces, depending on the sauce.
It tastes, there's, when you
can taste the I-9s.
Everything tastes better when it's free, but, the taste when it's tax-free it's a little better.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Olive oil tastes way better after you file. They got balsamics too, which you can afford when you get your return back. tax-free product.
Ladies and gentlemen, Botticelli foods are extraordinary and outstanding, just like the barcodes of Doozy. Just like John B. Sweeney Jr.
John D. Swindler.
And now, back to the barcodes of Doozy.
Barcodes of Doozy.
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
just a goddamn barcode to you, aren't I?
ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The barcodes of Doozy are back, and we have 4 more tips or directives or warnings about how life is going to go, basically, for the life cycle of
suicide, dude.
I think that's the twist.
Exactly.
So we're going to jump right back in. We're now at the top 4.
If you die, your family has to pay taxes.
Is that something?
Oh, we'll get to that.
You're not safe. Okay.
Nobody's safe. It's trickled down. Okay, guys. The fourth warning is you take your investing to the next level. Guys, you're in the middle age, you get older. You're taking it to the next level. Level up. Maybe you're self-employed. What type of entity or tax structure is right for your big venture? Corporation, limited liability, company, partnership? Now, what are those
questions? Well, I guess the first distinction here is protection, right? It's not so much that has to do with tax, but you want to, whatever business venture you're going into, you want to put a shield around, what you're doing. So let's say you open up a business and somebody falls at that business or gets hurt on your business property. Right, if you don't have an entity or a structure around that, well, technically, then it's just you as a person doing that business, and your personal assets could be subject to risk if there's damages. Right, so the entity is not only is there benefits around the tax side, but you're protecting yourself from liability, from potential risk of loss, given what happens in the world, ambulance chasers, who knows.
Now, what would you say? I mean, this is just, a big venture, like you're self-employed or whatever. What would you say to the type of we're both creative people. We're, we act,
I'm a
we
freelancer.
You're freelance and stuff. But what would you say to somebody who because I've heard, I even think I brought this up a year ago. As a creative person, some people for taxes, they even put their own name as a LLC or something.
Yeah.
Now, what type of benefits does somebody get from doing that for themselves? What is the
huge ego?
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Well,
Alex Staub Entertainment Conglomerate Worldwide.
LLC.
LLC.
Well, sometimes it's called like a sole proprietorship, where if you've registered yourself as a business, you're protecting yourself from that liability that we talked about. But what this does is it basically allows you to centralize whatever activities are associated with that business as sources of either expense or revenue, right? So if you're kind of like self-employed, maybe you're a freelance, you're bouncing around, and you don't work for an employer, so you're not getting W-2s, you're getting 1099s, you're getting lump sum payments for doing a commercial, or lump sum payments for working on behalf of somebody's house project, right? But now what you can do is you can associate those projects, and you can take in, you can start to keep track of the expenses that are associated with those. So as I work for an employer, I can't sit there and say, oh, I drive to my job every day, so I'm going to deduct the use of my car. It doesn't work like that. But if you're a sole proprietor and you're performing services, well, now that trip is a part of your business. So that gas, the things you spend to go back and forth to earn that money, is deductible. So it's a way to kind of manage your taxable income, and it's, you're not overdoing it, but you're taking advantage of the ability to deduct what it costs you to perform that service.
Now, that's why people who are self-employed are doing that as like a sole proprietor or like a creative person, why they save so many receipts and stuff.
Yes.
To keep track of well, I drove here and I did this activity, or I was a part of this and I purchased this or this and hosted this, then so that can be expensed at the later, and then it would be returned.
Right. So let's say I work for a company and I make, we'll just use a round number. At a time period, I make $10,000, right? But I'm driving back and forth to that employer. I don't have anything to offset the $10,000 that I've made. Not only that, I'm going to get tax withheld from my money that's going to be paid to me. On the other hand, if I'm a self-employed consultant or a service provider, I'm going to get a $10,000 lump sum payment potentially for that same service. I'm also then going to be able to take everything it costs me to get to that job, like my gas, my you could even dry cleaning, maybe if you're all the things that it required for you to take on that service. You've now reduced your $10,000 by. So it's the famous write it off statement. That's what that means.
Got it. Now the only thing is if you're setting yourself up for that situation to be able to write it off, I guess it sometimes gets a bad rap of just like sweep it under the rug, write it off. But if you're doing it consistently, you still have to be making a certain bracket, right? Throughout the year? Is that the only way that you can do it? Or?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the bottom line is you can't just deduct.
Yeah.
If you're not making money, you can't negative money, right? Like you can't go to the IRS and be like, I spent $10,000 instead of making $10,000. Now pay me money. That doesn't work like that.
Yes, got it.
But there is a concept.
I bought the accountant on demand 13 times
to try to do taxes for you. Can you pay me back? For you. Can you pay me back? I was trying to help you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very helpful.
Okay. Let's move on.
All right.
Top 3 warning.
Number 3, everybody. We're the top 3. Are your taxes filed yet? We're dressed like this. We haven't talked about the Matrix once. David got us again. Okay?
He got us again. I'm more in the Matrix. I'm more in it than jacked into it. I don't. God, it's late. It's a weekday.
You asked if IRS is real. Oh, it's real. This is a real thing. You are here.
You're listening in right now.
This is real.
Great. Okay, number 3. Your family's getting older. Okay, now you're at the end of your life. Okay, your family's getting older and you want to save for your kids' college. Okay, maybe you're ready to start planning for retirement and need to take some risk off the table. This might sound like financial advice. Tax planning pays. No. Yeah, this might sound like financial advice. Tax planning.
Plays! Not pays!
I'm just seeing Matrix numbers. I can't. Look, okay? This might sound like financial advice. Yeah, tax planning plays just as big a role. That was David's type.
Sorry. No, the retirement thing, right? So now you're older, right? And maybe your kids are going to go to college, right? There's ways to save for college tax free, right? Have we ever heard of a 529 plan? This is
repeat.
Like, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
This is basically
it's my favorite number.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my God, please keep going. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But it's called a 529.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Remember this, 529 plan.
I put money into that.
It's basically an IRA for your kids' college planning, right? So you can put money away.
So what is it called?
It's called a 529 plan.
Great numbers.
Right? So now let's say I put $10,000 away and it appreciates to $20,000. Well, now I have $20,000 to pay a college, right? And I don't get taxed on any of that gain, as long as I use the money towards an educational functionality.
Stop! This really is the Matrix. It's like you're a hacker or a coder, and you're like, okay, and the 401k and the Roth IRA and the 529 3.14678 underscore pi.
Yeah, that's a great account.
I know.
Mine is really
okay.
wrong. No, but it is. So there's so many different programs and stuff. Right?
401, 529. Why do these numbers are just like what? Like, is it? Just,
I can't make sense of that.
Things
That's
are filed. Or
yeah.
whatever?
I mean, it's probably somewhat in a timeline of when they were created. I don't have the exact answer for
back
that.
in the John
They-
D.
God
Swindle-
damn it, John D.
Swindle-
Sweeney.
Sweeney or Swindler? Why was that? He was
No,
the
he was the
Tinder
original.
Swindler.
He
yeah.
was the swindler of us all. He got us hooked into. I don't know, having a.
IRA makes sense because that's just an acronym. I think it stands for Individual Retirement Account.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, we all knew that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just I assumed I didn't.
Yeah.
But again, so that 529 is a way for you to save for your kids' college tax free, and there's generally not limits on that. But the proceeds when you take them out, they have to be paid to a higher education. It's not like you can just take it out and be like, oh, free tax free gains. No, you literally have to pay them directly to a college in order for it to qualify.
Oh wait, there are things.
So you can't. They won't.
They get you.
Yeah.
Get you.
They got you. You're like, oh, you put money in this item. You have to pay it towards.
Do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now other things you're
You
considering.
hungry? You want this sandwich?
Oh, we only have money in our.
straw.
Oh no, we
but-
only have money.
But the
through our-
529 can be paid to like your kids' like credit account at school, so they can pay for food and I guess
cafeteria.
dormitories,
Well,
cafeteria.
let me tell
They
you.
want your kids to eat, don't they?
Yeah. You know,
Huh? Don't they?
God, sophomore
Don't ya?
year of college.
Huh? Don't you want your
God.
kids to eat?
The freaking cafeteria, I got so fucking fat.
Yeah.
Fuck the cafeteria. Fuck your 529.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help, man.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. It's like, oh, are you hungry? Oh, you want the new PlayStation 5? Oh, well, the only money we have is your 529. I can't
Yeah.
take it out. Maybe you should go to school.
103.
Maybe you should go to a higher education. They get you.
Oh
That makes
God.
sense, I guess. Okay,
Nice.
let's keep going.
All right, so you're getting older and you wanna help your kids out with some money. You still can't just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do what?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Well,
It's the old age.
the second that's definitely my mind's going, but
Yeah.
you know what's not going?
What? That
The
dumb
top
truck
two,
ass of yours?
it never will, and it's never gonna droop, dude. It's always gonna
Yeah.
be perk, guys. The
Yeah,
top
we got
two.
we got a running thing where Kirk has this just insane, just giant juicy booty
that doesn't quit.
Yeah, that doesn't quit.
It's too legit.
And we found
It's
out
too
on
legit.
the ski slopes that I have these just insane calves.
Fat,
Just these
fat,
fat,
thick calves.
thick calves. You know?
But you know what's gonna happen with both of those?
I gotta pay
The
taxes.
second tip, we're gonna be aging like fine wine.
I could put both my calves in an IRA.
Or a 529?
Yeah,
Are they
I
going to
want
go to
my
a
kids
higher
to eat.
education? Because the top two tip is you're aging like fine wine now and want to make sure your family is well taken care of. What do you do?
Use your body.
Did you file a will? Create a trust or estate? All of this takes planning.
Okay.
You know, all of these tips up to this point, it's like we're to the second to last tip, and it's like, hey, don't worry, it's the end of the day. Have a nice cup of wine, and it's like this day has been awful,
You got money in like 50 different accounts.
and I can't touch any of it.
Well, now you can.
Yeah, right.
Now I can. Wait, no, I can't.
You're older.
Breathing through an oxygen tube.
I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I have the fine
Yeah.
wine coming in through
Yeah.
a straw.
Remember that sandwich plan you've been paying for 35 years? You
Yeah.
can now take a bite of that sandwich.
No. When I was growing up,
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, you still can't touch all your money, but you look great.
you look great. You're aging like a fine wine.
God, you're hot.
God, you're hot.
God, you're hot. You broke little.
You broke little fat bitch.
fat. Yeah, we took
Bitch,
your identity.
Oh yeah, we took your
Yeah,
identity.
we took your
Hey,
identity.
hey, you cute little
Yeah.
sexy little barcode. I'm sure
Yeah.
you stowed away to a few little
Yeah.
money to put a little Botox in those crow's feet.
What's up,
Because
you
you
hot-
aged fine.
You hot little
You
barcode.
aged just fine.
Get in line, you sexy little barcode. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so
Yeah. That was nice.
so okay.
That's
You're
nice,
older.
David.
We'll say,
We're
we'll say,
older.
we'll say
We're
we're,
older
in
now.
our 60s, right? We're not on our deathbed, but we're getting older.
Well,
We're
let me
60s,
ask you.
70s.
So it's like opening up, like you waited 40 years for the wine, right? And you open it up, and you finally get to taste it.
You're gonna get wasted. It's gonna be awesome, or you're gonna waste it.
How much was
You're
this?
gonna waste it. You're gonna have so much fine wine
Yeah.
of aged cheddar,
Yeah.
and just.
Oh, God.
So that's now. If you've done it right, you have so much goddamn money that you don't know what to do with it. So you buy an
So
estate,
you give it away to your kids.
or you create you create a trust or an estate.
File a will. David, am I in your will?
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Am I at least in your IRA 225946645K account? And that's when you give me an Oreo every 5 years.
What?
With interest.
With interest. No, I mean, look, you want to. If something happens to you, you
I
want
have
things to
Tito?
get out. You want Tito?
Yeah, give me Tito.
You can have Tito.
Yeah, okay. I could sell him for like, what, $1,000?
So if something happens to you, this is
Right, this is
what you're
where
saying?
the will comes into place, right? How are people going to know what to do with your assets, right? What happens? The will's important, but then not only is that important, how does the IRS treat your assets as you're aging and as you're trying to maybe give things to your family over time, right? So that's what a trust is good for, because a trust allows you to put money away. And again, that it's in its own silo. It is taxed, but you can be the taxpayer and you can create rules around it about when people get it, about how it's delivered to people. Because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to have, go through all these efforts through life, 401k, IRA, have
a lot
this
of work.
wealth, and then die without a plan, because then the IRS basically just says, okay, well, once you figure out who gets what, that full value of your whole portfolio, taxed. And before it gets to people. Now, I'm being pretty general, but there's like a death tax that if it's not structured,
they get you.
yeah, if it's not structured in a right way,
tax?
before it gets to your family or your loved ones, if you don't have it structured correctly, the IRS can tax it.
All of this
upon death.
talking about assets. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
We're in the meeting room. Okay, so we're good on conjoined twins. Now let's talk about when they die. Tax them. Conjoined twins, tax them twice, and as a third, as a one person.
And I have to apologize. I think I jumped accidentally to our last tip.
Why don't we jump in? I
Number
think
one,
we're
you're dead. The number one tip is you're
You're
gonna die,
dead.
so none of this matters.
you got out. You got out.
You finally got out. But remember, the Social Security is branded into your soul. So even when you die, your soul takes out. You're gone. Wow.
Because what it says here is
Yeah. Oh, number one tip. Okay, you're dead. You don't have to pay taxes anymore, but your family does. That's exactly what
Evil
the
laugh.
IRS Yeah, evil laugh. That's literally what they all did. So when they die, right?
they're in the meeting room.
Yeah.
They're like,
All right, so once they die, let's just have their broke daughter continue to pay for it.
wait.
Just eat a sandwich.
Should we make it so, like, especially if that grandfather made a bunch of money and the granddaughter can't pay it, she won't be able to pay it until she dies.
Right.
Should we have their granddaughter pay attention and just keep going?
Right. What we'll do is
Yeah.
we'll have, so the grandfather bought this huge house and gave it to the daughter in the will, right?
It
and
was so
when
expensive.
they give it to her, she can't afford it. So we just take it from her.
We take the house! We take it.
We take the house back.
We take it.
Yes. And he still had so much to pay on it, so we take it all.
God, I don't even know what. Is the IRS a fucking Bond villain? Is it a
That's
Star
the
Wars
life of
villain?
A taxpayer, and that's just life. There's no way out of it. You're born, and that barcode comes at you. You can't do it. You're just a helpless. And then that's it. Then you die.
Have you ever seen the movie Oblivion?
Yeah.
That's what that thing at the end. That's what the IRS is to me. It's just at the end of it. It's just some computer that's.
Morgan Freeman comes out of a coffin.
Yeah, they're there to blow it up.
Yeah, they're there to blow it up. It's just some computer. That's literally wow. Yeah.
But for a while, the IRS did have the largest computer system in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know when. I think it was.
What kind of games do you think they have?
Ooh. Tetris for sure.
Yeah.
Did somebody? What happened to it?
Well, I mean, it's still, but I mean,
It's probably way better.
Think about like NASA and some of these other I mean, we're talking maybe Amazon's computer system is even bigger, FedEx, right? But because FedEx is worldwide, right? So, but the IRS computer system at one point was the largest in the world.
Speaking of FedEx, hey Jose works for FedEx. How are your taxes?
Jose,
how are you doing right now? Jose's editing this on drugs, so
he's taking all of his disposable income. He somehow found a way to take it out of a Roth IRA and his 401k to just buy drugs, just to get through this episode.
Yeah.
Right, Jose?
Yeah.
I wonder if they recycle Social Security numbers. So, after you die, Kirk, can you tell us that?
So when does it start back at 1 again?
So what happens to your Social Security number after you die?
So when when it's 999
Never recycle.
What goes to what?
Not yet. Each American from his or her fellow residents today assigned randomly and never recycled. The Social Security number is as unique an identifier as your fingerprints. Oh, don't even get me started on fingerprints.
They got my fingerprints.
Wait, it says, although in the past, duplicates are known to have been issued accidentally.
That was a question earlier. There you go.
Yeah.
It was?
I think so.
The conjoined twins.
Oh.
No? Duplicates.
Wait. Okay, we're almost done here. One of these Google questions is, how many Social Security numbers are left? There are approximately 420 million million numbers available for assignment. However, the previous Social Security number assignment process limited the number of Social Security numbers available for issuance to individuals by each state, changing the assignment methodology extended. Fuck it. I don't want to read it.
So it's infinite.
It's gonna, it's like.
But what happens when that person's 9999999?
They must add a digit
The Social Security number selection for babies it's the Powerball. It's just you're a winner. Here's your Social Security number.
Wow. See, once they reach the end of the security numbers in that list, they just start killing people after that.
Stop. You want to know how much a Social Security number is worth? How much somebody probably paid for your identity?
How much?
How much is a stolen identity worth? For people with high credit scores, a Social Security number, birth date, and full name could sell for $60 to $80.
That's it? I was waiting for a much higher number.
Well, I have a horrible credit score.
They got it for $12. Okay,
that guy stole my identity for $20.
Yeah, on the black market, he's like, I guess that'll do.
Well, that 20 he probably invested in his IRA, right?
Yeah. And today,
he's dead.
Anyway, guys.
Yeah, hey, that was the
Doozy
the
podcast.
Barcodes of Doozy,
of Doozy, everybody.
Yeah. Jose, when you edit this, Can you just turn our faces into just barcodes? That's it. That's all we want. And then make David's head that giant computer in Oblivion. And he's going to edit this, and that's exactly what it's going to look like.
Perfect.
So, guys, hey, everybody, comment what your favorite tip was. Thank you if you have made it all the way through.
My favorite tip was dying.
My least favorite was after that tip when I realized I was still alive.
Justin Bieber at one point. That was kind of it. Conjoined twins.
Guys, thank you so much for getting all the way to the end of this. I hope it was entertaining, and I hope that it was informative. I know it was for me. Please, if you somehow have a tip for how to do taxes, please let us know. And please send us a comment or tweet us. We are on Twitter. We are also on
YouTube.
Instagram.
Right. Instagram.
We're on the IRS website.
Probably somewhere.
In the database somewhere. For sure.
And all audio platforms.
Subscribe. Yeah. We're subscribe to everything. Okay? Email us your socials. So we can, send you, some food for college.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guys, if there is something that you want to learn about and have us teach you while we also learn about it, let us know.
That makes sense to me.
Yep. Guys, we will see you next episode. Until then, go buy yourself some Botticelli foods to just
when you get your
eat
tax
your feelings.
Return. Yeah. and I just want to shout out to David here. David, thank you so much.
We are so thrilled to have you as.
I hope you can join us again next year to teach us how to do our taxes.
All over again.
More. All
yeah.
right.
Oh, more. Yeah,
more. Because
sure.
we'll have more of them because we'll be aging like fine wine.
When does it end? Yeah.
We'll go through the life cycle, but in reverse.
Yeah, reverse.
But yes,
so you died.
This was such a pleasure to have you. You are our most frequent guest. This is your third appearance on the Men of Doozy podcast, and we love having you here with us, especially for the first time in person.
This is fun.
You're a fan favorite. People love the tax episode.
I
think that was like the first one where.
We got a bunch of views.
Yeah, it got like the most views at that one point there. So
all right, I'll take it.
People were like, "What the hell am I? What do I do?"
Well, we hope you have a little bit more of an idea of what to do. If not,
don't.
Stay tuned for next year. Love you guys.
You know what? Well, I'm gonna go watch Oblivion because that's.